As we are studying medicine, there is already this expectation that we have to be the best, that we are only defined by a mark, and if we get anything lower than we expect, we think we don't deserve to be here. But the thing is, there's so much more than an academic mark that defines who we are and how we will be in the future. There's power in sharing our stories and our experiences, as we not only speak up for ourselves, but for those who think they do not have a voice and are alone. In a highly demanding profession with copious amounts of stress, perseverance, being willing to make mistakes and to learn from them, and determination to not give up is essential, as you only fail once you stop trying.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our YouTube channel, and my name is Yikhonke Kunene, the resident YouTuber. Today I'm joined by the wonderful Bibi and Emmanuel, and we'll be talking about something which is very hush-hush in medical school, which is failure in medical school. It's a topic very sensitive and something really I cannot even fathom when I just really exposed to it. But today, we have these two heroes that are brave enough to share their stories and on how to overcome it. So, we should just briefly introduce yourself, ladies first, Emmanuel. So, let's go.
Are we gonna be sexist? I kid. Hi everyone, my name is Bibi and I'm a medical student at Wits. What must I include?
Tell us who you are, what did you study, are you a GEMP or mainstream? Just let us know, let us into your life.
Okay, so I am a lot of things. One of those things is a student, but I have a long love and hate relationship with medicine. I got into medicine as a mainstreamer. And this always confuses people. I got into medicine straight after matric, did my first 2 years, and then things went south. And it was during a time where they had a pilot program. I don't know if anybody here did SCMD, but it was during those years where health system dynamics was being introduced, and they would let you carry subjects in medicine. So I did my first and second year, passed my first and second year except one subject, physics 1, 0 to 4. And eventually that got me excluded, regardless of the fact that I was performing in other aspects. I left, I went and I studied up to my master's at Stellenbosch, worked for Stellenbosch, worked at Tygerberg Hospital as a neurogeneticist, and now I've come back to finish my medicine. So I am a GEMPer, I am a mainstreamer, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a mom, I'm a friend, I'm a sister. Yeah, that's me.
Wow. Basically, it's everything. A brother.
So before I introduce myself, I'll say good to meet you.
Nice to meet you finally.
I've kind of met you, but I didn't know that much about you.
Really?
You have a very interesting life. My name is Emmanuel KS Bope. I'm a 4th year medical student. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also a sports enthusiast and a very proud Congolese man. In terms of my academic background, I started off doing biomedical science. Then when I completed that, applied for medicine, it didn't work out, and I did my honors in pharmacology, and then still didn't work out, so I needed a higher average, and I went to business school, Wits Business School. I did my honors, so it's a postgraduate diploma in management, and then I got a high enough average and then got into medicine. So yeah, that's my academic background.
I am really surrounded by hard workers.
Okay, and you are?
Me? Guys, I am Yikhonke Kunene, just a 4th year medical student, and proudly the Vice President of the Wits Students Physician Society. I head up the IT, YouTube, and Communications division. So the purpose of our video today is to really have a healthy conversation around failure, because, to stop the stigma around it and also help medical students that are facing the same season, just on how to embrace it and to overcome. So my first question, I'm going to start with Emmanuel now.
Okay.
My first question to you, what was your experience like with failure in med school?
Failure at med school, I think failure in general isn't easy, but then it's relative depending on what season you're at in your life. So the reason why I was able to be very open about my failure, I didn't want to hide it. I didn't want to just be in a position where I'm always uncomfortable and this person knows that I'm in 4th year, that person knows I'm in 3rd year. I just put it out in the open because I've failed many times before. Like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I've had many business failures, but also many business successes. And I took the learnings from the failures, and then I also focused on the successes, and that helped me progress. So I was just quite open about it, but it's not to say every day was easy, but it was a humbling experience, very humbling experience. I felt bad because of like the finances that got wasted for that year, but I also learned a lot. I learned so much, and I feel that I was supposed to fail. As weird as it sounds, I genuinely feel I was actually meant to fail.
Yeah.
So
And Bibi, with your encounter, briefly just let us in.
I think this is one of the, I'm going to get into my experience now, but I just wanted to say, I think this is one of the main differences between the mainstreamers and the GEMPers. Emmanuel took it in his stride because of his experiences in business, which you don't pass the first time around. Lots of failures, lots of diversions as well. But I digress. I failed physics first. I had never ever failed, which is the mainstreamer thing. You get into medicine immediately, you think you're the ish, and then Wits shows you flames. And at the time, the slogan was "Wits gives you the edge." I don't know. Now it's Wits.
It's still relevant.
But then it gave me the edge. But until that point, I had actually never experienced the setback. Everything had gone so smoothly academically. And so I didn't process it. This is 2009, 11 that this happened. So I didn't process it then. I literally just picked up, moved on, because I knew I was good for it. So I went and I tried other universities. Unfortunately, that didn't work. And then when I got to Stellenbosch, I was cooming. The content was exactly the same. I did pure maths, pure physics at Stellenbosch, and I coomed. So
can you say the full words so that we feel
We
feel the essence of what you say?
Wait.
I got a cum laude for my first year of university at Stellenbosch. At Wits, I was a 65-70 student. But at Stellenbosch, funny enough, even though the content was exactly the same, even though maybe I was doing it for the second time, I managed to get an over 18 for both physics and maths, which are my favorite subjects, funny enough. So like Ima, I can never explain why I failed because it wasn't academic. I promise you it wasn't academic. But perhaps it was meant to be.
So what was the most difficult thing you really had to deal about? You've already touched a bit based on, you say, funding, family, friends. I mean, I think that plays a big role.
The most difficult thing, you mentioned friends just now, and I don't think that was like the difficult part because my friends are super supportive. It's actually crazy how supportive, how positive, encouraging my friends are. There's also family members, let me say, that are also encouraging. The difficult part, I could say, was the finances more than anything because getting into medicine was such a big achievement. And for me, like you just think, okay, this is it. I've made it. I'm gonna get a bursary. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get that. And I did have a bursary opportunity, which slipped. I let it slip by failing. So that was a difficult part. That was a really difficult part. But besides that, I mean, obviously going to do the same work that you did the previous year is a bit challenging, but I think I did eventually see the benefits of it. So I can't really say that was a difficult part. It was more the finances more than anything.
And for you, Bibi?
And again, this is where the difference is between a mainstreamer and a GEMP. The emotional maturity you had when the failure happened to you prepared you for the impact. When you came back, the impact then was not doing the thing and getting through it. It was facilitating the year again. With me, I didn't process what happened when it happened. So 10 years later, I come back to Wits. I'm older, I have all of these things under my belt. I'm probably a little bit more mature, and then life falls apart, get divorced. Same year, get divorced, come back to med school, go broke, obviously unemployed, because how do you work? How do you work in this degree? So finances were tough, they really were, but that was the least of my problems. It was, for me, it was more the mental health, the facing the fact that you were told that you were not good enough. And it was, I did matric at 16, so by the time I was in first year, I was 17. So it was also that maturity. I was a baby when this happened to me. And now I'm coming back as an adult female, and I still feel fragile and small, and well, last year I felt that way. And even though I knew I was competent at doing the work, I couldn't fulfill what was necessary. I could not for the life of me. So that's what was difficult. It was the mental health aspect of medicine. It wasn't the academic work, even though eventually it did funnel into it, but it was, yeah, my mindset.
Jeez. I mean, it's a lot of things in your mental health. And I really believe it's never the work. It's all about like your soul, your mind, you know, where are you? It's tough. And you know, I mean, you really touched base on it. What kept your morale? What kept you going through, like when you had to just repeat? And I know you're just repeating like this year. What's keeping you going?
I think for me, it stopped being about the degree. I've stopped thinking about the degree as a part of my identity. I've stopped thinking about, I've been a medical student my entire career, even though I left for like 10, 11 years. But I've been a medical student from the moment I left high school. And so it was a really big part of my identity that I lost. Coming back now and having to once again affiliate with this thing that caused me so much pain, hurt, lost so much money through, I had to define myself anew. So medicine is something that I've chosen to do, and it's no longer something that defines me. And that's made it so much easier, the mental burden of not doing well. Because I realized that it's not that I'm not doing well because I'm not good enough. I just had difficulty with this and this. Perhaps it's with how a lecture is presented, which would explain why first year in physics was just not a thing. Yeah. No offense, Dr. Mjaji. But yeah, it's adjusting my mental perspective and welcoming the failure. That's something else I didn't do because your experience prepared you so well. Instead of welcoming it, you sort of say, okay, I failed, moving on, without mentally processing the fact that it means something to fail. You should look into what exactly led to that, and what about that can I change, can I improve, and can I do better at next time, instead of just, you know, moving on and doing the next thing better, but there's always this one thing that you just couldn't sort through. That'll come back for you later.
Jeez, and what was your code? You know, because I mean, everybody, I mean, I have my code as well, but what was your code like this year, for this year? You know?
I don't have any kind of quotations I can share with you about how to encourage and motivate you. Just work on your attitude. If ever there was a quote, it would be that your perspective will shape how you see everything in life. So by the renewing of the mind, work on your perspective and your attitude towards things, and slowly but surely your efforts will become realized.
Jeez.
Just to piggyback on her point on working on your attitude, for me, my quote, or let me say my hashtag, I always have a hashtag on my calendar. Every year it's a new one.
Okay.
Last year's one, or the year that I was repeating, was Mamba mentality. And for this year, the hashtag is breakthrough season.
Hey, you got the same one, Emmanuel.
Same one.
Yes.
Oh, that is crazy.
Yes.
But I posted it on my birthday like a few days ago. So I'm in my
Plagiarism.
breakthrough- I didn't see his, by the way, but I'm in my breakthrough season, and I genuinely believe in speaking things into existence. Whether you're speaking it into existence in your mirror or you're doing it in public, you can choose. I don't tell everything to the public, but this is something I'm telling the public. I'm in my breakthrough season. Watch me.
Tempted to say amen.
in terms of the
What keeps you going?
what kept me going, it is definitely family and friends, like the people I surround myself with. But I've also just heard about like just being mindful of everything you consume.
Yes.
And many times when we think of consumption, like we think of eating, which is normal. It's the first thing that comes to mind. But what you're viewing and seeing is also what you're consuming. What you listen to is what you're consuming. So just be mindful of everything that you're consuming.
What helped you? You know, who helped you? Because I mean, you went through a lot. You've mentioned divorce. You mentioned going bankrupt, unemployment. I mean, who helped you? What were the support structures to help you with the failure as well? Because now, apart from these things I've mentioned, I mean, the failure.
Then on top of that, yes, the
Yeah.
academic challenge of leaving your job and then coming back and failing. My family, my mother is my rock. I'm from a single parent household, and so she has always sought to hone the best parts of me. And at my lowest, she is always the person to remind me of my highest. My mother, my faith, I am a strong believer in the biblical Christian God, and he sustains me daily. I think my story is full of more miracles than it is tragedies. Yes, the tragedies are big. They're not laughable things, but he has done so much with my tragedies that it's almost worth it. And my therapist, I started therapy last year for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Because I think it was around him where I realized that something isn't quite right with me, because the expectations from everybody was that I'm gonna get back and it's gonna be like 90s. And then I get here and it's not.
Yeah.
But I'm working. And so therapy really opened up my mind and made me realize I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder last year from 2011. So for 10 years I had been sitting with this, never gone through it, and it had become something so much bigger over something so small and insignificant had it just been done better. Yeah, so those are the main things that encourage me. Also my subscribers. It's amazing how people who don't know you can sometimes show you so much love and support.
Yeah, that is true.
And so sometimes when I'm discouraged, I think, but this person said they're praying for me. I'm not gonna let you down, whoever you are. Even though I don't know you, but I'm like, it's for you, sis. I don't have a special person. So yeah, those are the people and the things that sustained me through my failures.
Jeez. And you've already touched base on family pulling through for you and a special person.
Yes.
And did you also consider therapy perhaps?
So on my side, I can't say therapy. I didn't feel that I needed it. I didn't feel that I was struggling mentally. However, I have organizational issues. Like I just have so many things that I'm doing and so many things I'm thinking of, and I'm always interrupting this for that. So I did. This help that I'm speaking about is this year, so it's not really relating to the year that I failed. But this year I actually saw a lady who's what's her title? She's an academic advisor, and so she's been helping me like plan and categorize and compartmentalize things, and it's been crazy how it has worked. Last year, in the year that I was repeating, I actually got a tutor towards the end of the year, and you can imagine how difficult it was, because just to give a bit of context, I started Wits, like I started studying before him, and I'm older than him. So he came, I think, 2 years after me. And I have to get tutored by someone who's 2 years younger than me. Like, imagine someone looks up to you and then you have to go to them and ask for help. So it was a very humbling experience, but I also told myself, like, listen, this is my journey. I have to do what's best for me. Whether it's humiliating a little bit, not a little bit, a lot, but I just have to do that and get through it. And the crazy thing is, last year ended the best that it has ever ended, and it's the first time I've ever gotten an academic award. Like in primary school, in high school, I've never gone to academic awards. I was always that guy that goes for sports. Like I was always that guy. but for academics, it wasn't that. And crazy. From last year's performance, this year in April, I got a letter from the Golden Key Society, and I'm a member.
What?
So yeah.
Look at you.
Please, in medicine, my friend. Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
This is the best I've ever performed in my life.
Man.
Can I just add something to this? Something that will help you through. Like, this is being real with you. Help is never shameful and it's never embarrassing. And medical students, it is assumed that we don't need help. Humans need help. No matter how brilliant you are, you need help. So if you're failing at medicine, trust me, it is not because you have not the capacity to do the work, to get the marks. You need the help. And that's just the part of your human journey. You're going to need help until you're 80. Even worse, the older you get, the more help you need.
Jeez.
I don't want to end this question without saying a shout out to my parents. Like, you see,
but of course.
Like my parents, guys.
But
my
of
parents.
We would just like to give a special thanks to the Adler Museum for allowing us to use their space. Please feel free to come at any time of the day to visit them. Furthermore, we would like to thank our speakers and presenter. We hope their stories touched your hearts. Do not forget to like, share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. Thank you.
Did you have a crying season? Because I know you're male. Like, how long did your crying season last?
Last year, no lies broke me.
What people say, does that really affect you?
It definitely does.